Good morning. I hope everyone is ready. Could I kindly ask you to take your seat? Distinguished delegates, good morning. I wish to welcome all of you to the first plenary meeting of the 60th regular session of the General Conference. We have a lot of agenda in front of us during this week. So may I start? First of all, under the Rule 48 of the Rule of Procedure, I now would like to invite the conference to observe a minute of silence dedicated to prayer and meditation. Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, Director General Rafael Mariano Grossi, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted that today's session has brought again together several ministers, vice ministers, senior officials, and participants from all member states. I warmly welcome you all to the 68th session of General Conference. Before I begin, may I take a few minutes to take this opportunity to extend my sincere gratitude to all member states of the agency for their broad support, commitment, and cooperation, which has been instrumental in the successful conclusion of the last 67th General Conference of the IAEA. These collective efforts reflect the significant importance that we place on the agency and its vital work as well as noble mission in promoting peaceful uses of nuclear energy and advancing global security and development. It was a great honor for me to serve as the president of the 67th session. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the Southeast Asia and Pacific Group for entrusting me with this important responsibility. My great appreciation is to Mr. Vilmos Cerveni of Hungary for chairing the Committee of the Whole. I also highly appreciate the 8 Vice Presidents for their great cooperation. My genuine gratefully goes to Ambassador Maria Kofeld Nativinet and the Secretariat for their professionalism, knowledge, and support. Last, of course, but not least, my heartfelt thanks are for Director General Grossi and all Deputy Directors General for their leadership, tireless efforts, and their commitments to work with the agency. Distinguished delegates, the heart of the IAEA's enduring success is its ability to foster diplomacy and international cooperation, empowering nations to work together toward common goals. Nevertheless, as a member-driven organization, the agency's future accomplishments are in our collective hands. Therefore, it is our shared responsibility to ensure that the guiding principle, atoms for peace and development, not only remains relevant, but also leads to lasting global benefits. In an increasingly complex and interconnected world, I believe that the agency stays a cornerstone of international cooperation for peace, security, and sustainable development, as well as ensures that nuclear technology is used responsibly and exclusively for peaceful purposes. Over the past year, the IAEA has continued to adapt to emerging global challenges, addressing pressing issues like climate change, public health crisis, and food security through its diverse initiatives with unwavering dedication. Its commitment to both collaboration and innovation has solidified its roles as a key driver of progress on multiple fronts. Since the 67th General Conference last year, the agency has hosted numerous significant meetings, seminars, and workshops, including the first Nuclear Energy Summit in Brussels and the fourth International Conference on Nuclear Security, Shaping the Future, in Vienna earlier this year. We also look forward to the upcoming Ministerial Conference on Nuclear Science, Technology, and Applications, and the Technical Cooperation Program in November. These activities offer valuable insights into key challenges and lessons learned, while also strengthening cooperation related to peaceful use of nuclear technology. We all agree that the Technical Cooperation Program has been a key driver of member state effort towards socio-economic development and the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development. Through capacity building, technical support, and essential equipment, the agency helps address pressing global challenges. Let me highlight a few key recent achievements. Cancer continues to pose a significant global health challenge, especially in developing countries. As the number of new cases and deaths rises, the Ray of Hope initiative shines as a beacon of optimism, creating anchor centers around the world to strengthen cancer treatment infrastructure and deliver lifesaver care to populations that have long been underserved. Our rivers and coastal areas are often overwhelmed by plastic debris. The New Tech Plastic Initiative has made notable progress with pilot projects in the Asia-Pacific region on successful nuclear-enabled plastic recycling. The Zodiac Initiative has impressively continued its mission to combat zoonotic diseases by expanding its laboratory network. The newly launched Atom for Food initiative, highlighted at this year's scientific forums, is very timely and essential in addressing global food insecurity. It is also encouraging to know that the IAEA play a crucial role at the COP28 Climate Conference, highlighting the contributions of nuclear energy to climate mitigation, adaptation, and energy security through, among others, the small modular reactors in achieving net zero emissions. We look forward to the first ever international conference on small modular reactors and their applications in Vienna next month. In the area of nuclear security and safety, we should support the agency to strengthen international nuclear safety and security standards. In terms of nuclear safeguards, the agency continues monitoring and verification of nuclear activities are crucial for ensuring compliance with international non-proliferation agreements. These verified efforts are essential for upholding the peaceful use of nuclear energy and deserve the full support by all member states. I would like to commend the agency's unwavering commitment to women empowerment within the nuclear field. Through initiatives like the Maria Skłodowska-Curie Fellowship Program and the Reese Manner Program, we can create a more inclusive and equitable environment where women play an integral part in shaping the future of nuclear technology. Distinguished delegates, in closing, I am hopeful that the spirit of flexibility, open communication, and mutual understanding, embodying the Vienna spirit that guided our negotiation last year, will continue to shape the current session. Through this commitment to dialogue and adaptability, we are better positioned to reach consensus and set clear, unified direction for the agency work in the years to come. I wish you many enriching and productive discussions, and I wish the new president of the 68th General Conference every possible success. I thank you very much. Distinguished delegates, may we now pass on to our first item of agenda, the election of officers and the appointment of General Committee. I now invite a nomination for the office of the President of the General Conference during its 68th regular session. As all of you know, it is the turn of the Far East Group to provide this year's President. I now give the floor to the distinguished resident representative of Mongolia in his capacity as chair of Far East Group. You may address us from your seat.
Madam Chair, distinguished delegates, the Far East Group nominates by consensus the candidacy of His Excellency Mr. Hang Sang-buk, a permanent representative of the Republic of Korea to the International Atomic Energy Agency for the position of the 60th IAEA General Conference in accordance with the established practice of the President's election as requested by the Secretariat. I thank you, Madam Chair.
Kazakhstan, you have asked for the floor. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Director General, distinguished delegates, the following area list member states, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan, align themselves with this statement. Excellencies, my delegation is compelled to speak on this particular item for the following reasons. At present, 14 IAEA member states are still deprived of their fundamental right to be elected to the Board of Governors and the Bureau of the General Conference. This state of affairs violates the principle of sovereign equality enshrined in Article 4C of the IAEA Statute. It simply means that the agency cannot extend the rights and benefits of membership to its member states. Last year, on the initiative of Kazakhstan, the General Conference adopted a landmark resolution to finally restore sovereign equality in the agency. Unfortunately, some member states are still ignoring the implementation of this resolution, despite having voted in favor of it. The Far East Regional Group, whose all 6 members supported this resolution, has nominated the Republic of Korea to assume the presidency at the 68th session of IAEA General Conference. We do not intend to break the consensus on this important issue this time. However, it should be noted that any member states that intends to take the high leadership post in the IAEA's decision-making bodies should bear increased responsibility, impartiality, and to be strictly adherent to the principles of the IAEA Statute and the UN Charter. We believe that it should duly fulfill its obligation and commitments within the agency and should not obstruct and in no way prevent the membership of real estates in the regional groups. We note with regret the lack of action in regard to our strong desire for membership in the regional groups. We will duly discuss this issue under the agenda item on the restoration of sovereign equality in the IAEA. Having said that, I hope that the Republic of Korea, in its capacity as the President of the General Conference, will carry out its duties impartially and reconsider its position with regard to the real estates. And I thank you.
I thank the representative of Kazakhstan for his statement. Is there any other representative would like to take the floor at this juncture? If there is none, may I take it that the statement of Kazakhstan will be duly recorded and appear in the documents of this conference. So, if there is no other nominations, I propose that Mr. Ham, His Excellency Mr. Ham Sang-wook, Ambassador and Resident Representative of the Republic of Korea, be elected by acclamation President of the General Conference during its 68th regular session. It is so decided. So His Excellency Mr. Ham Sang-wook is thus elected President of the Conference by acclamation. On behalf of all delegates and on my own behalf, I would like to offer him a warm congratulations and also our good wishes for a successful conference. I now invite him to take the chair and in doing so, appeal to all delegates in the interest of saving time and in accordance with a decision taken by the conference several years ago and successfully implemented since then, to reserve their congratulatory statements to him until they make their general debate statements. Thank you.
Excellencies, Director General Grossi, distinguished delegates, friends and colleagues, I wish to express my deepest gratitude to the Far East Group for their encouragement and support in nominating me for the office of President of the General Conference. Let me also sincerely thank Member States for the confidence you have shown by electing me to serve as your President. I assume this responsibility with a heavy heart, having witnessed many times the disruption of the Vienna spirit we have cherished. Nevertheless, I remain convinced that consensus is the only path forward to achieve our common goals. I sincerely hope that by conclusion of this August General Conference, we will have accomplished our work through cooperation and shared commitment. I am grateful to the former President, the Ambassador of Thailand, Her Excellency Bilawan Mangkalatanakul, for demonstrating exemplary leadership during last year's General Conference. I would also like to commend Director General Grossi, now serving his second term with remarkable success for his tireless efforts, leadership, and commitment to the nuclear agenda. My sincere appreciation also goes to the Secretariat for their consistent and invariable support both for this meeting and for the broader mission of Atoms for Peace and Development. It is with great honor and a profound sense of duty that I stand before you today as president of this General Conference, determined to do my part to further the IAEA's unique contributions to peace, development, and prosperity throughout the world. The significance of the agency's work is exemplified by Korea's exceptional journey in the field of nuclear energy. Since joining the agency as a founding member in 1956, we have strived to advance nuclear energy and technology for both national reconstruction and economic development with the invaluable support of the agency and international community. Today, the Republic of Korea ranks 5th globally in nuclear power generation with 26 reactors in operation. And we are now one of 6 countries equipped with the capability to export nuclear reactors and technology. This is matched by our unwavering commitment to non-proliferation and the safe and secure use of nuclear technology. The Republic of Korea's evolution from a recipient of the IAEA's technical cooperation to a donor country underscores the dramatic change in the global nuclear landscape. Having benefited from international cooperation, we are now in a position to give back and share our knowledge and resources worldwide. As such, Korea's story is not solely our own. It is a shared achievement of the international nuclear community, the IAEA, and all member states. As we convene here today, the role of nuclear energy has never been more critical. The world faces unprecedented challenges: climate change, increasing electricity demand, driven by technological advancement like artificial intelligence, and concerns over energy security. Nuclear power is an essential part of the solution. It offers a reliable, zero-carbon source of energy for meeting our collective climate goals and ensuring a stable energy supply for future generations. Furthermore, technological developments are expanding the scope and impact of nuclear applications throughout the world, from providing critical cancer treatment and giving hope to those in need, to protecting our environment and ecosystems by monitoring and reducing pollution, defending humans and animals against emerging diseases, and enhancing food security and agricultural productivity to ensure a sustainable future. As we embrace the potential of nuclear technology as a pathway to prosperity, however, we must also recognize the paramount importance of maintaining the highest standards of safeguards, safety, and security. These are not merely technical requirements, they are the foundation of the trust and confidence that underpin the peaceful uses of nuclear energy. They ensure that nuclear technology remains a force for good, contributing to the well-being for all humankind. This General Conference convenes at a pivotal moment. We have before us an agenda full of significant issues that underline the urgency of addressing non-proliferation concerns, fostering the conditions for the adoption of next-generation SMRs, and ensuring robust nuclear safety and security in response to the global expansion of nuclear technology. The decisions we make and the actions we take in the days ahead will have far-reaching implications. It is therefore imperative that we approach our discussions with the Vienna spirit of compromise and cooperation. Only through collective action and a shared commitment to our common goals can we address the complex challenges that lies before us. Thus, let us seize this opportunity to reaffirm our dedication to the peaceful uses of nuclear technology, to strengthen our collaborative efforts, and advance our shared vision of a safer, more prosperous world. I thank you very much. Distinguished delegates, I would now suggest that we continue with the election of officers and the appointment of the General Committee. Under Rules 34 and 40 of the Rules of Procedure, the Conference has elected for the duration of the present session 8 Vice Presidents, the Chair of the Committee of the Whole, and 5 additional members of the General Committee, resulting in a committee of 15 members with me as its chairperson. However, I understand that this year the General Committee will be composed of 16 members, consisting of 8 Vice Presidents, the Chairman of the Committee of the Whole, and 6 additional members, so that the area of Far East, in addition to providing the President of the Conference, can also have a Vice President. This will involve suspension of Rules 34 and 40 of the Rules of Procedure of the General Conference, and I am advised that this has been done in comparable situations in the past. I see no objection. It is so decided. I understand that all area groups have provided their candidates. I should therefore like to submit for your consideration and approval the following proposals, which I have already received. As the 8th Vice President, I should like to propose the delegates of the following member states. I will read the names in the English alphabetical order as I have been informed. Burkina Faso, Canada, Iraq, Malaysia, Mexico, the Philippines, Serbia, the United Kingdom. As chairperson of the Committee of the Whole, I propose Mr. Jan Roding of the delegation of Sweden. For 5 of the 6 additional members of the General Committee, I would like to propose the delegates of the following member states. And again, I shall read the names in English alphabetical order as I have been informed. Ecuador, France, Russian Federation, Sudan, the United States. With regard to the additional member for the MESA group, may I ask the chair of the MESA group if he could provide any update on this matter?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, distinguished delegates. We had circulated the vacancy for additional member post in the MESA group, but we have not received any expression of interest despite reminders. As the Secretariat has expressed again the pressing need to have this post filled for smooth conduct of GC business, India hereby indicates its willingness to fill this vacancy.
I thank the distinguished delegate of India for this update. Based on this nomination from the MESA group, I would like to propose the delegate of India as the 6th additional member of the General Conference. I assume that my proposals are acceptable, and accordingly, I take it that the chairperson of the Committee of the Whole and the delegates of the member states whose names I have read out are duly elected as the 8th Vice President and the 6 additional members of the General Committee. It is so decided. Distinguished delegates, I accordingly declare the chairperson of the Committee of the Whole and the delegates of the member states whose names I have read out duly elected as the 8th Vice President and the 6 additional members of the General Committee. It is so decided. All of them will hold office until the close of the conference's current session. On your behalf and on my own behalf, I would like to offer them my warmest congratulations. I look forward to working closely with them with a view to ensuring a successful conference this week. I shall be requesting the Vice President to take the chair from time to time, and I hope that they will make themselves available when called upon to do so. I further declare the General Committee duly appointed. I propose holding the first meeting of the General Committee today in the afternoon at 2 p.m. It will take place in meeting room CL4, 7th floor, C building of the VIC. Further, I would seek your concurrence that we deal with the items of the provisional agenda this morning as contained in document GC 68/1 in the following order, pending receipt of the General Committee's recommendation on our provisional agenda. Item 2, applications for membership of the agency. Item 3, message from the Secretary General of the United Nations. And item 4, statement by the Director General. Then I propose that we take up item 6, contributions to the Technical Cooperation Fund for 2025, and item 7, general debate and annual report for 2023. Therefore, I propose to suspend Rule 42 of the Rules of Procedure of the General Conference. This is consistent with past practice. Failure to proceed in this way would considerably delay the start of the general debate, in which several ministers are scheduled to speak today. May I take it that the conference accepts my proposal to suspend Rule 42 and proceed with the consideration of the items as envisaged in the provisional agenda? It is so decided. Distinguished delegates, may I ask you now to turn to item 2 of our provisional agenda, applications for membership of the agency. The General Conference has before it 2 applications for membership. We will take up these applications one by one in the order in which they were submitted. First, we take up the application by the Cook Islands contained in document GC 68/17. The application has been recommended by the Board of Governors, which has also submitted for our adoption of a draft resolution contained at the back of the document. May I take it that the conference wishes to adopt by acclamation the draft resolution contained in document GC 68/17 relating to the application by the Cook Islands? It is so decided. I wish to take this opportunity to extend on behalf of the conference congratulations to the Cook Islands on being approved for membership of the agency. In doing so, I appeal to delegates to defer extending their congratulations until they make their general debate statement. Now, we will take up the application by Federal Republic of Somalia contained in document GC 68/18. The application has been recommended by the Board of Governors, which has also submitted for our adoption a draft resolution contained at the back of the document. May I take it that the conference wishes to adopt by acclamation the draft resolution contained in document GC 68/18 relating to the application by the Federal Republic of Somalia? It is so decided. I wish to take this opportunity once again to extend on behalf of the conference congratulations to the Federal Republic of Somalia on being approved for membership of the agency. In doing so, I appeal to delegates to defer extending their congratulations until they make their general debate statements.
Yes. Mr. President, first we congratulate you for your new appointment.
The representative of Federal Republic of Somalia has requested the floor, and under Rule 30, with your permission, I shall give it to him.
Mr. President, first, let us congratulate you for your new role and other new elected members. On behalf of the federal government of Somalia and under the esteemed leadership of our President, His Excellency Dr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, we are deeply honored to accept our application for full membership in the International Atomic Energy Agency. This momentous occasion represents a significant milestone for Somalia, highlighting our unwavering commitment to international cooperation, peace, and responsible use of advanced technology for the betterment of our citizens. Somalia's membership in the IAEA is a vital step in our nation's journey toward growth and development. We firmly believe that nuclear science and technology, when utilized for peaceful purpose, hold remarkable potential to help us tackle some of our most pressing challenges, for enhancing healthcare and agriculture, to improve the management of our natural resources and strengthening our resilience against climate change. We are inspired by the transformative possibilities that nuclear solutions offer. By becoming a member of the IAEA, Somalia seeks to unlock the benefit of a nuclear technology in a manner that is safe, secure, sustainable, and fully aligned with international standards and regulations. We are eager to engage with our fellow member states and the IAEA Secretariat, drawing on the agency's invaluable expertise in energy production, radiation protection, and nuclear safety. We look forward to actively participating in the global exchange of knowledge and best practices, contributing to the collective mission of promoting the peaceful and useful of we are truly grateful for our warm welcome into this remarkable family, and we look forward to collaborating together to shape a brighter future. On behalf of the federal government of Somalia, we are very grateful to be here with you today, and we are very committed to uplift the principle of the organization as we embark this new chapter of collaboration with the IAEA. Somalia reaffirms its commitment to the principle of the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons and pledges to advance international initiatives that ensure nuclear technology is exclusively used for a peaceful purpose. We are devoted to working alongside the IAEA and the global community to ensure that nuclear science and technology serve as a catalyst for development, security, and peace. Our nation is one of the honors international laws and treaties, and we are dedicated to uplifting this principle. In conclusion, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to the IAEA and its member states for this invaluable opportunity. We look forward to fruitful and mutual beneficial membership. I submit, Your Excellency.
I thank the distinguished representative of the Federal Republic of Somalia. I once again to extend on behalf of the conference congratulations to the Federal Republic of Somalia on being approved for membership of the agency. This concludes our consideration of item 2. Distinguished delegates, let us now move to item 3. I have the great pleasure of inviting Ms. Ghada Fatih Wali, Director General of the United Nations Office at Vienna, to deliver a message to the General Conference from the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres. I give the floor to Ms. Wali and invite her to address the conference from the lectern.
Mr. President, Director General Grossi, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to be with you today And I want to start out by expressing solidarity with our host country, Austria, which is facing severe flooding along with neighboring countries, causing loss of life and immense damage. My thoughts are with all those affected. Now it is my honor to read out the message of the Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, to this conference. I send my warmest greetings to the participants at the General Conference of the International Atomic Energy. As the guardian of the global nuclear safeguards regime, the agency's work is more vital than ever. We are living through a moment of rising geopolitical divisions and mistrust with grave nuclear undertones. I call on all states to support the agency's role in ensuring the strictly peaceful use of nuclear energy. To this end, I once again urge the Islamic Republic of Iran to resume complete cooperation with the IAEA and call for all relevant parties to return to the full implementation of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. As the war continues to rage in Ukraine, the risk of an accident at a nuclear power plant remains a daily possibility that must be avoided at all costs. The IAEA continues to provide invaluable support to ensure the safety and security of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and other nuclear facilities affected by the war. Amidst these challenges, harnessing the peaceful uses of nuclear science and technology is critical. Through more than 1,000 active technical cooperation projects worldwide, the agency continues to ensure that nuclear energy benefits people and sectors around the world, from health and nutrition to food, agriculture, water, and environmental sustainability. I look forward to strengthening the valuable cooperation between the IAEA and the United Nations, and I wish you a successful conference. Thank you.
I thank Ms. Gada Fatiwali for her presence with us, and on behalf of the General Conference, I would ask her to convey to the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres, our appreciation for his message. Distinguished delegates, we now come to item 4, and I have great pleasure in inviting Director General Mr. Rafael Mariano Grossi to make his statement to the General Conference.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, let me congratulate you on your assumption of this very important function. It's a real pleasure to have you and your country presiding over our deliberations, and of course, say how much we appreciated the excellent way in which Thailand, in the person of the ambassador, discharged this important function. As my dear friend Gara was just saying, let me start also by expressing our heartfelt sympathy with our incomparable host country, Austria, and our beautiful city of Viena, together with the Niederösterreich and other parts of the country which are suffering the consequences of this extreme weather phenomenon that is affecting us all. I think the message of the Secretary General just now was reminding us of the fact that in our agenda and in the many things that we are going to be discussing this week, the role and the mission of the IAEA is indispensable. And yes, we are at a time of unprecedented tensions and uncertainties. But of course, that should not deviate us and should not make us forget the absolute importance of our work here, because our work cannot be put on hold until these tensions ease, which we always and of course hope will be the case. Let me say that when it comes to the role of the IAEA, it is in all these areas. It is in preventing the erosion of the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons regime that has underpinned peace and security conditions in the world. It is also important to make sure that nuclear safety and security prevail at times of war. It is also trying to ensure that through the efficient application of science and technology, through nuclear, we can diminish poverty and difficulties around the world. Let me tell you what we have been doing in this past 12 months and the way ahead. One of the pressing issues that are in all our minds is, of course, the issue of food security and the fact that more than 700 million people go to bed every night hungry. This is, of course, an obscenity, and this is, of course, an effort that the entire UN family and countries as well are trying to address. Through the Atoms for Food project, which we launched together with our friends from FAO, we are trying precisely to bring nuclear technologies through food irradiation, through pest insect to containment technologies, through soil improvement, crop improvement technologies, some remedy to this global crisis. I invite you to join us tomorrow when we launch the scientific forum this year, where we are precisely going to be concentrating on this issue through the Atoms for Food project. Dear colleagues, we are meeting for 5 days. Let me say something. You know, in these 5 days, or during these 5 days, in the world, according to statistics, 200,000 people will be told they have cancer. And many more, especially in the developing world, will not even be told that because they don't have the means to know it. From those, roughly half are going to die. And they are going to die from cancers that could be perfectly preventable and cured. This is behind our Rays of Hope initiative, which we launched in close coordination with WHO and which is supporting countries all over the world, in particular low and middle income countries, where in some cases not a single radiotherapy machine exists. So this support that the IAEA is giving is done through equipment, through training, and in some cases even constructing cancer centers. We need to continue counting on your support for this noble mission. But this is not all. When we look at the environment and when we look at other problems that are being tackled multilaterally, like the microplastic crisis, again, the IAEA, through the NUTEC Plastics Project, is at the forefront of efforts that are trying to stem this global phenomenon. We are still remembering the days of the pandemic, with those lockdowns, with those anxieties. It's not so long ago. And at that time, the IAEA launched its biggest campaign of equipment support for more than 130 nations. But even those days, we knew that this was just a temporary remedy to something that needed more. And this is why we launched Zodiac, the Zoonotic Disease Integrated Action Program, which is now working in more than 100 countries. We have equipped veterinary laboratories all over the world. And you know, these laboratories right now are working on Mpox. So this action, this preventive action through nuclear technologies have allowed us to be ahead of the game on health crisis, of course, within the One Health platform in the United Nations. All of these issues are crucial. But of course, one of the most important matters that we are dealing with is the energy crisis, compounded with the climate change problems that we have. And the IAEA has been displaying also its support on the role that nuclear energy as a clean source of energy can play. As you know, when we look at statistics, roughly a quarter of the clean energy which is being produced right now in the world is of nuclear origin. And we come a long, long way from not being recognized in international conferences or even rejected to what happened in the global stocktake in Dubai just a few months ago in the COP28, where there was a global consensus, I repeat, from all members present there to say that nuclear energy should be accelerated. We will be working with Azerbaijan for COP29, where we expect to be continuing in this very important effort. Nuclear energy continues, and it's not only in the traditional way, it is also through the important contribution of new nuclear manifestations like small modular reactors. In a few weeks, the first international conference on SMRs, on small modular reactors, will take place here in this very room. And we will be able to gauge the state of the art in this technology. Who is doing what? How can we, and especially developing countries, also can benefit from this important instrument to give our energy mixes an important additional instrument to produce energy without harming the environment. And this is very important. Of course, there are ways for the future as well. And fusion, with its promise of energy, clean energy in a very efficient way, has always been considered one of the most promising scientific areas. And we have launched the World Fusion Energy Group, which is going to be meeting in Rome in November this year to bring the conversation forward. As you can see, dear friends, all these applications are active and present when it comes to providing a better future for all. But of course, there are the challenges. And when we think about the challenges with war going on in Europe and with the possibility of a nuclear accident always present, the IAEA has been present at the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. Already 23 rotations of IAEA experts are there contributing, working, informing the international community of what is going on. And yes, I have visited Kursk just a few days ago, where the situation is serious, saying and coming from the assumption that a nuclear power plant, a peaceful nuclear power plant, should never be attacked under any circumstances, irrespective of the place where these nuclear power plants are situated. And we will continue in this effort. Of course, when it comes to, and we mentioned that, the nuclear non-proliferation regime, which is so important, we need to continue our effort. I salute the possibility and look forward to engaging with the new president of Iran and with the government of Iran in continuing in our indispensable efforts to give the credible assurances to the international community that that nuclear program is in peaceful ways, and it will continue so. There are challenges ahead, but they are not unsurmountable. And I reiterate here and now my disposition to continue our efforts, just as we do in Syria, where for the first time in more than a decade, we are now moving forward in trying to bring clarity to some of the issues that were at the source of important concerns in the past. So as you can see, dear friends, in all of these points, the IAEA is showing its active contribution in or to the world agenda. Dear friends, nothing in this area or nothing in these areas is done automatically. It all needs the workforce, the women and the men that are doing this science for all of us. And when it comes to that, young generations and, of course, women are essential. Through the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Fellowship Program, we have opened possibilities for hundreds of women that heretofore did not have the possibility, the means, the money to continue with their careers. We need to continue in this effort, because in the next few years, and according to the evolution of the nuclear energy equation, as I described it, a few million technicians and engineers are going to be needed. And of course, women will have to be there. And we have opened doors to them through this program and through the Lise Meitner program, which is also addressing mid-career women in the area of nuclear. Because it is not true that in these areas the male dominance will prevail forever. All of us are needed. And the example, of course, is my own secretariat, where from a meager 28% of women in the professional categories when I started in this position, now we are at 48.5, and we are going to get to 50% very soon. So nothing is impossible when we work together and with a sense of real commitment. So as you can see, dear colleagues, from the front lines of war to the radiotherapy units, to the food and the protection of the environment, in all of these areas, this agency is and will continue to be at your service for the noble mission of keeping atoms for peace and development. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank the Director General for his statement. He not only dealt with specific agenda items for this session, but also provided us with an interesting overview of the main issues and challenges ahead for the agency. I'm sure that his views will receive careful consideration by member states. Distinguished delegates, let us now take up item 6. With your permission, I should now like to say a few words about contributions to Technical Cooperation Fund. The Board of Governors in June 2024 recommended a figure of 98 million euros as the target for voluntary contributions to the Technical Cooperation Fund for the year 2025. Document GC 68/16 before you has attached to it a table showing the contributions each member state would need to make in order to meet its share of the target. The early pledging and payment of contributions to the Technical Cooperation Fund greatly helped the Secretariat in planning the agency's technical cooperation program. And I would therefore urge all delegations that are in a position to do so and have not done so as yet to notify the Secretariat during the current session of the conference that their governments will be making to the Technical Cooperation Fund for 2025. I am pleased to note that 33 member states have already made their pledges to the Technical Cooperation Fund for 2025. At the end of our session, under a later agenda item, I will report on the contributions which have been pledged up to that time, and I hope that I will be in a position to report favorably on the percentage of the 2025 target figure already pledged. Pledges can be made during meetings at the table to my right, marked financial contributions. Between meetings, you can be made in room number MOE67 on the ground floor of this building, where delegates can also make inquiries concerning their regular budget contributions. Distinguished delegates, let us now turn to item 7, General Debate and the Annual Report for 2023. Before giving the floor to the first speaker on my list, I would like to make a few comments and suggestions regarding the conduct of the General Debate, which is expected to continue during the next few days. Member states were provided the option of submitting pre-recorded video statements to be delivered in the General Debate. Member states are requested as well to limit their respective statements delivered in the General Debate to 7 minutes. No longer statements may, however, be posted on the General Conference web page. I appeal to all of you to adhere to this time limit, 7 minutes, in view of the general streamlining of the conference. In this connection, I would also appeal for your cooperation in allowing me to start our meetings punctually and ask you to be available to deliver your statements when called upon to do so. Delays in starting our meetings will reduce the number of speakers we can accommodate in each session. Lastly, I appeal for your understanding and cooperation in the arrangement of the daily speakers list and the order of speakers. The list was opened in June. However, adjustment may be required in order to meet contingencies. I am confident that the Secretariat will do its best to cope with conflicting demands. I take it that the conference is in agreement with the suggestions which I have made with regard to the handling of the speakers list for the general debate. It is therefore so agreed, and I thank you for your cooperation.